Now we're going to shift gears for 1 minute. And this is a somewhat new award that we've been given in recent years, which is our Lifetime Achievement Award in Shaklee. And it's time to honor someone who is truly extraordinary. And it's a very hard decision as to who gets this award. And the good news is that when you take Shaklee products for a long time, you stay in Shaklee for a long time, and we have this year and next year and the following year to continue to give it to all the amazing, worthy people who deserve this. But the Shaklee Lifetime Achievement Award recognizes an ambassador whose excellence, perseverance through challenges, unwavering positivity, and generosity, those are the two most important points, reflect the Shaklee philosophy taught by our founder, Dr. Shaklee. And this particular person continues to inspire our entire Shaklee community with all that this person does. So on behalf of the Global Board of Shaklee Directors and the Global Executive Committee of the corporation, it is my great honor and privilege to present this year's Shaklee Lifetime Achievement Award to Lifetime Master Coordinator Joyce Hoffman.
Turn your magic on, I mean she'd say everything you want to dream away. We are legends every day. That's what she told me. I feel my heart beating.
I always have.
I feel my heart underneath my skin. I feel my heart beating. You make me feel.
I have a few more words to say about this wonderful woman, Joyce. I just told her I loved her, by the way. It's true.
And I love you.
Thank you. It's mutual. Sorry, Sloan. Okay. So let me tell you where I first met Joyce. Joyce and I met when she served on, please, you can sit down for a second. We're going to have more time to applaud Joyce. I first met Joyce when she served on our Shaklee's Masters Executive Committee, which is people who are selected by the master coordinators to represent them in conversations with the company. And when you meet Joyce, she makes a heck of a first impression. She immediately strikes you as a plain-spoken, no-nonsense businesswoman and a passionate advocate for the field. And it didn't take long, actually, to see what makes you very, very special, Joyce. And it's not just the business that you built. The secret sauce that you have is your warmth, your storytelling, your humor, and your unforgettable laughter. You cannot be in a meeting with Joyce for long, even if she's mad at you, which sometimes she is, without her having a twinkle in her eye and having that smile. If you're facing a challenge in your Shaklee business, Joyce has a solution. If you come to her with a dream, she'll help share in her quiet confidence and make you feel 100% that you can actually achieve it. And if it's a big dream, she's going to help you understand how worthy that journey will be. And the first time I heard Joyce's story, and I hope you tell it a little bit tonight. You should tell that story. You know, it was a special moment in my Shaklee career. It's a story, I'm not going to steal her thunder, but it has to do with, no, I'm not going to tell her story. It's her dream and your family farm, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the reason why we create something like this, to help people do what it is. And I can tell you that from that first moment of story, I looked at you, Joyce, in a different way. I like to say that people say Joyce came to our business as a skeptic. She's a registered nurse, a trained nurse. She knows more about Shaklee products than anybody I have ever met. Her mission is to help people live healthier. She does that. And Joyce, I'd like to say, ever since I met you, I've wanted to give you this award. Okay? And she just turned 90 years old. And there's fire in this belly. And you are a fierce advocate for everything that is good in Shaklee. And so on behalf of everyone, we are just so excited and delighted to honor you tonight. And before we do this, there's a few other people who want to join me and share some of your wishes and their love for you. So, by the way, you drive this thing really well.
What?
Yeah. I want you to turn around for a second
Okay.
and look at the screen.
Okay, just a moment.
Yeah.
You have to get
There
on.
you go. And don't run me over. Okay. There we go. Okay, stop. Can we play the video?
What I love about Joyce is her love and her kindness to everyone, and partly being a social director. She's so good at organizing everything.
We just want to let you know how blessed we are to have had you as our leader and a coach, a mentor, and especially a friend for all these years.
You're always willing to share your wisdom and your knowledge with us, and we love starting our Monday mornings with you and listen to your many Shaklee stories.
You are a true friend, and your friendship is priceless. We appreciate everything you do for us, and we love you.
We love you.
Joyce is an encourager. She's always positive. She cheers us on. When we sponsor somebody or do something, she'll say, "That's wonderful." She's always available for advice and suggestions. She never asks us to do anything that she hasn't already proven successful in her own business. She is successful in Shaklee because she cares. She cares about people. She cares about their feelings. She cares about their health. And that's her secret of success.
Over the years, I've always felt very proud to be in her organization. She's always there for us. She's so supportive. She's funny. She's got great stories, great Dr. Shaklee stories. And she's always been just an encouraging servant leader to our group. And we just love her so much. Congratulations, Joyce, on this wonderful, amazing Lifetime Achievement Award. It is so well deserved. And I know that Chuck is here with us, smiling down, so proud, as we all are. Congratulations.
Right. Okay. Can you turn around again? Yeah. Oh. Joyce said for the first time in her life she's speechless, but I don't believe her. Hang on. Joyce, will you say a few words?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, this was the last thing that I was thinking about when I came to this convention. In fact, when they asked me to become on stage at this occasion, I thought they were going to be recognizing me because I was soon to be 91 years old and that I was still active in the business. I had no idea. I still do my Zoom calls every week, and I have done it for years and years and years. And then before that, I did weekly meetings, and I communicate with my people, and as you can see, they obviously love me. But the reality is, I have been devoted to this company ever since the day that I met Dr. Shaklee. When I met that man, I realized that this was the kind of man that I was willing to follow. And my husband and I, as Roger said, I was very skeptical. But my husband, Chuck, said to me, you know, I was going to school to get my degree in special education because I had 3 little boys, and I did not want to go to work and work weekends and holidays. I was a director of nurses, but I left that in 1970 to go full-time Shaklee with my husband when our first check was over $3,000. And we made that was at the end of 6 months. And in our day, we did not have the privilege of having literature from the company. We did not have the privilege of having computers. We had to stock our own products, and we had to provide every piece of literature for our people, including the sales plan. We did not even have a sales plan. So you can tell how archaic it was when we first got going in Shaklee. And the thing that I have to tell you about every person that is going to come on this stage, who are legacy leaders, have zigzagged this country from the East Coast to the West Coast, to the North Coast to the South Coast, and putting on meetings for one another. And like Chuck and I, every single year for 2 weeks, we went out on the road. Well, we went out on the road other times, but we went on the road for 2 whole weeks and did a dozen meetings. And we did that in the spring and we did it in the fall. So it did not come easy for us. We really had to put some effort into it. But I'll tell you, the pioneers that built this business were strong, energetic, determined individuals. And they were also very devoted to the Shaklee philosophy and Dr. Shaklee's promise that he had us make, that we would make this earth a better place to live in. And so I just can't believe, I can't believe I'm not any more deserving of this award than any of the other master coordinators that's going to come across this stage, because every one of them have been as devoted as me, have been as caring as me, and so I say this award goes to everyone because they all deserve it. And I want to thank Roger for your kind words.
Tell them about the farm.
Huh?
Tell them about the farm.
Oh, and he wanted me to tell you about my farm. So, when we got involved in Shaklee, it was in 1972 that I put a picture on my dream board, because when I realized we were starting to collect, fairly good incomes, that I had had a dream since I was a child. My father had graduated as valedictorian of his class. He was supposed to go to school and become a pastor. And his father died when he was graduated, before he graduated from high school. And Grandma said, no, you're going to go up to this farm, you're going to batch it with your alcoholic brother, and you're going to put that farm in shape. And if you do, that farm will be yours one day. Well, in reality, we moved 7 times in my first 9 years of life. And finally, we moved into a meager farm. And my dad had just invested about, $1,000 or something to buy this farm. And then all of a sudden, my grandmother realized that the farm Diegerholta that my father had been promised was going to have to go off at auction. And so anyway, my father said, I can't go. I just cannot go and see that farm go from our family. And so I said to my daddy, and I think I was 10 or 11 years old. I went up and I put my arms around my daddy and I said, don't worry, Daddy. One day I'll get you your farm back. Now, the reality of that is we didn't have a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out of it. That's how poor we were. And so we had an outdoor john. We didn't have running water. We didn't have electricity. But this kid tells her dad, one day I'll get you your farm back. And it was always in the back of my mind, but then I finally sort of let go of the dream. And in 1972, I put a picture of that farm house on my dream board. And we had a meeting every January with our group and everybody had to have their dream board. And I had that picture on there, and Chuck came home and said, what the heck is that all about? And I said, it's a farm we're going to own one day. And he said, Joyce, be practical. He said, farms cost a whole lot more than houses. And he said, there's no way that we could ever afford that farm. Do you think that I put that on that board and didn't decide to work my doggone head off so that I was going to get that farm? In 1979, it came up for sale. And my mother called me and she said, Joyce, deacon halters for sale. And I said, oh, Mother, please, I'm not prepared yet. And she said, well, if you don't do it now, you probably never get it. And so we went to see the farm, and Chuck thought it was beautiful. It was a 240-acre farm, one of the most beautiful farms in Wisconsin. And Chuck said, honey, we can't afford this. And we went home, and we were home for a week. And Chuck finally said to me, honey, you get up in the morning with a smile on your face. You go to bed with a smile on your face. And I haven't seen a smile in a week. He said, if that farm means that much to you, he said, we'll go down and take a look at it again and see what we can do. Well, the reality is it cost us $56,000 down. At that time in 1979 was serious money. And we had saved $40,000 for our children's education. So that's all we had that we could put down. And my dad said to me, I went to Dad, and he was so excited we were going to get it back. And I went to Dad, and he said, well, I've got one annuity for $20,000. He said, I'll cash it in, I'll borrow it to you, and we're going to buy that farm. And so as a result of Daddy being willing to put down that money, we got to buy the farm back. And then the Jimmy Carter days came along, and the interest rates went out to 18%. And I said, well, now I can't keep the payments up, Chuck. And he said, well, I've served in Korea, and I can probably get a GI loan. So we were able to save that farm. And now that farm has a guest house on it, it has a Norwegian stabor on it, and we can sleep 26 of us when we go to the farm. And Al Hagerman, when he came down for one of our seminars that we had, said, heck, this isn't a farm. This isn't a farm. He said, it's a resort. But anyway, if it hadn't been for Shaklee, if it hadn't been for my dream, we would never, ever, ever have gotten that farm back for my father. So I am so indebted and so thrilled that Shaklee came into my life.
Shaklee family, our 2025 Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Lifetime Master Coordinator, Joyce Hoffman.
Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name, 'cause you burn with the God's flame, and the world's gonna know your name, and you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile. You could be the hero, you could get the gold, breaking all the records they thought never could be broke. Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. And you're never gonna know if you never even try. Do it for your country, do it for your name, 'cause there's gonna be a day when you're standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name, 'cause you burn with the God's flame, and the world's gonna know your name, and you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame.
Make some noise! One more time for Joyce Hoffman!
Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers.